A special wall honoring Vietnam War veterans is here in our area. We'll take a look at how this is paying tribute to those who served.
Attention Target shoppers, same-day delivery is coming to the Glass City. We'll tell you when it will make its debut.
And right now, people are out there, Fifth Third Field, volunteering to build little houses for those in need. We'll take you there live.
This is 13 ABC Action News with Sasha Bray and Jeff Smith.
Tony Gepta sitting in for Jeff Smith this afternoon. We want to begin with a deadly crash that happened earlier this morning that closed I-75 in Hancock County. Part of that road still closed at this hour.
Let's check in with 13 ABC's Heather Pauloff on how to get around it. Heather.
Well, this was a deadly crash that happened around 1 o'clock this morning in the northbound lanes of I-75 between Bluffton and Findlay here, and we still have some lane closures in place there. I've been checking in with State Patrol down in Hancock County, and they tell me that one lane is back open now, so that's some good news for drivers down in this area. But again, this was a crash involving 4 semis. In fact, a press release just came in to our newsroom from State Patrol down there. They say, again, 4 semis involved here after one semi driver didn't keep a sure distance, and actually we had stopped traffic in Findlay because of some construction, so he hit 3 other semis that were in that area here. So ODOT still working to get everything cleaned up. In fact, let's take a look. The Findlay Post of ODOT released this video here on their Twitter page, and you can see that they're working on actually repairing some of that pavement out there because it was actually damaged in this crash here from that vehicle fire that kind of happened after that crash. So again, they're working to get all of this cleared up. Because of this work, they do still have that one lane closed, so drivers can expect some major delays on northbound I-75 just south of Findlay here. No word on when that one lane will reopen, but again, expect some delays in this area. I'll be back later this half hour with another Check Your Contrada Law Time Saver Traffic.
And from there, we get a check of our forecast this afternoon.
Yeah, meteorologist Ross live in the 13 ABC First Morning Forecast Center. Tell us all about it, Ross.
Yeah, more hot weather is expected here. Now, we've noticed a few more clouds. The humidity is still high out there, but this is the time lapse that we've got here from our ProMedica Riverfront action camera. At one point, he actually saw the nearly full moon kind of zip through, and then, of course, you've got that early morning sunlight coming up. But the later in the day you go, the more clouds that you start to see building in the atmosphere. There goes the moon, and then the clouds begin to pop back up, and that'll likely lead to a few showers, although not a lot as we go into the afternoon. So here's a look at Doppler radar right now. A couple sprinkles down towards right now Henry County, also some not far from Ottawa. Just a couple showing up on the radar screen at this point. That is it. There's actually a better opportunity for these showers to pop up as they move to the east, though, east of I-75, but then especially east of our viewing area altogether. So about a 30% chance for some of those showers later this afternoon. They'll begin to develop mostly after 2 o'clock for us. And we're still looking at that high around 91. Heat index around 95 degrees. We'll let you know how long the heat will stick around coming up in just a few more minutes.
A Toledo City Council committee meets this afternoon to discuss the new lead ordinance, and they'll be met by protesters. June 30th is a deadline for owners to get their rental properties inspected by the health department for those lead dangers. These protesters are worried that if landlords do not comply in time, people could end up getting forced out of their homes with nowhere to go.
A woman who is reported missing is now safe at home. Patricia Musser, who's 84, has dementia. She was reported missing from her home yesterday morning in Findlay at about 10 o'clock. And last night at 11:15, police say Musser was located in Detroit. Investigators say she apparently drove there and started asking for help because she was lost. She is now, once again, safe with her family in Findlay.
Most Vietnam War combat veterans are right around the age of 70, if not older, and for many of them visiting the Memorial Wall in D.C., it's a rite of passage. But it's also often impossible because of mobility issues and travel costs. So for Northwest Ohio vets, the memorial is coming to them. 13 ABC's Ben Caffey has this story from Camp Perry, all new at noon.
Days removed from Memorial Day, a very special and meaningful exhibit. A traveling Vietnam War memorial like that at Washington, D.C. is visiting Camp Perry near Port Clinton. It's absolutely free, and sadly it has more than 58,000 names. We're here with the combat veteran Ernie Hopkins, who's one of the committee members that brought it here, and it's been years in the making, Ernie. When you get up on the wall and you see names behind you like Gilberto Garcia and Jimmy Holcomb, what emotion goes through your mind?
At that time, you realize that those young men, and they were 19, 20, 21 maybe, gave their lives for the United States so that we could be free and we also could come out and visit this. So this wall is not just for the ones that's on the wall, it's also a healing purpose for the families, for the relatives, and also for the younger generation to understand what sacrifices was made by these people on this wall, so you'd have the ability to come and visit this.
So before you come out here to Camp Perry and towards the back of the unit, you want to find the dates that those that you know and loved, or even that you're just visiting, unfortunately passed away in the Vietnam War. The event is absolutely free. It continues until June 3rd, and you're even able to come up to the wall, touch it, and etch the name on paper, just like you would in D.C. At Camp Perry, I'm Ben Cathy, 13 ABC Action News.
Happening now, the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets softball team is on the way to Akron to compete in the state semifinals. We have some video from BCSN. It is just in from a short time ago. The team has a 28-2 record. They're going to face Lakota West at 3 o'clock this afternoon. 13 ABC's Steve Slivka will be there. He'll have complete coverage tonight on Action News at 6 o'clock.
Just into our newsroom, we've learned that the Ohio State University's football team going to take on University of Toledo in 2022. So mark your calendars now. The Buckeyes will host the Rockets at Ohio Stadium September 17th of that year. This will be just the 4th time the two teams will meet on the gridiron, and OSU has won every game thus far. So we'll see what happens.
You just never know. There was that year when UT beat U of M, and it was astounding.
You never know. This could be but now we know when it's happening. So plan your next, 3 years around it, 4 years.
All right. In the meantime, happening today, houses are being built inside Fifth Third Field.
It's very cool. Sounds impossible, but it's happening, and it's happening for a great cause too. 13 ABC Sean Hegarty is there live with how this is happening.
Yeah, Tony and Sasha, this is called Project Playhouse. And as I bring in Mike McIntyre from the Habitat for Humanity to describe what this is about, I want to show you the hardworking 13 ABC team that is working very hard today. Mike, you're building 30 playhouses today, or the volunteers are.
Right.
Tell us why.
Well, it's in celebration of Maumee Valley Habitat for Humanity's 30th anniversary, and we're building 30 playhouses for 30 families that are deserving of them. They'll be picking them up later this afternoon.
And these families, as we're panning over to show some of the other designs, the families themselves have asked for what specific designs the 13 ABC one is Michigan, Ohio State, and solar systems. And we got flowers, and we have elementary school. So the families themselves that are getting these got a lot of input.
Well, they sure did. It may be a surprise to some of the kids that they're getting some of the favorite themes or colors or activities that they like to do that maybe their mom has signed them up for. So it may be a surprise to some of them, but the organizations here building the playhouses and designing them, they put a lot of effort in really kind of matching what those desires were for those kids. So it should be really exciting this afternoon when the kids show up.
The kids will see them today then. And you have quite a few diverse companies getting involved in this, throughout all specters of the area.
Well, sure. We've got some nonprofits in here. We've got some for-profit businesses. Just the genuine support that we got from the community has been great. We really are talking about this as being a community event for the community, because the children that are getting them, it's not like they're Habitat families. There is one nonprofit, Bethany House, will be getting a house, but for the most part, it's just everybody reaching out, trying to have fun and brightening the lives of these kids.
Having fun, and Mike, people aren't being competitive today, but I am told, I don't know if you can still hear me with all the hammering, I am told the Rudolph Libby team is in the lead when it comes to time, although the 13 ABC team is doing pretty well. But it's not a race, Sasha and Tony, but Rudolph Libby is in the lead.
I can't wait to see what they all look like. All right, thanks so much. Thanks so much, Sean.
Yeah, and meantime.
Yes, Tarda looking to tap into the same market as Uber.
That's why they're working on an app for that.
And if you haven't been to Target lately, hey, the store is bringing its items to you. New at noon in Your Money. A few weeks ago, we told you about a new partnership between Target and Shipt, which would mean that Target would be offering same-day delivery. Well, today we learned that service begins in Toledo and several other Ohio cities on June 14th. To celebrate, Shipt is offering new members $50 off an annual membership. The Trump administration is making good on a trade threat today. The White House says it's hit the European Union, Canada, and Mexico with tariffs on steel and aluminum. The move is almost certainly going to spark retaliation and could impact U.S. sales of everything from motorcycles and jeans to bourbon. Consumer Reports reversing course and now endorsing Tesla's new Model 3 vehicle. The magazine had previously said that it couldn't recommend that electric car because apparently the braking was far worse than any contemporary car we've tested, their words. Well, Tesla went in, made some improvements, and now Consumer Reports is recommending the car.
TARTA leaders are trying again to change the way the system is funded, but they are promising some upgrades to the service this time after being turned down last year in an attempt to switch funding from a properties tax to a sales tax. TARTA has looked at its options and is now promising changes. Some updates will include accepting fares paid through a smartphone, expanding the routes in Lucas County, and even extending bus riding hours. TARTA believes those updates, among other changes, will make this new plan an improvement.
Very excited about our new plan. We have a lot of changes that have already happened, such as the elimination of the downtown loop and the creation of a new transit hub in downtown Toledo. We have a new contract with the University of Toledo that will allow students to ride free on TARTA anywhere within the Toledo service area. And we have a lot of planned improvements coming up, such as new technology like an app for our bus users and a van pool program to make it easier for folks to get to work.
So if this sales tax goes through, it would increase the sales tax in Lucas County 0.5% to 8%, but in return, the property tax levy would be eliminated. All service communities have to sign off on that plan before it will go to the ballot in November. They are wanted in a string of car break-ins outside a local fitness center.
And they were caught on camera. We'll take a look at these pictures.
Tracking a little bit of rain here over the next 48 hours. We'll let you know when our best chance for those showers would be and how the weekend is shaping up coming up.
And the president is sounding off on Twitter over the cancellation of Roseanne. What's hot is next.
Now, 13 ABC First Warning Weather with meteorologist Ross Ellett.
And the summer H's are here. Hazy, hot and humid weather. You can see the haze outside with our West Toledo action camera. If you look close enough, you can see some of those cumulus clouds trying to build into the sky as well. We'll watch for some of those leading to a few showers later on for today. But all in all, not a whole lot of rain out there, especially right now. Let's take a look here at the overall picture. We are watching those temperatures here that will continue to climb. 84 degrees right now with your real-time weather. You can see more clouds building here at the airport. And we showed you that time lapse where you can see the clouds just begin to stack up on one another over the last few hours or so. Winds are out of the southwest at 13 miles per hour, and it feels like 89 right now. By the next hour, we'll be back in the 90s with the heat index, and the air temperature today will be across that 90-degree mark as well. Dew point right now, 71 degrees. It was about 72 to 74 degrees earlier. It should slowly drop a little bit later on today, but still tropical-like humidity. And then the big drop-off comes late Friday going into Saturday. Drier weather moves back in. It's going to feel a lot more comfortable. So the temperatures will drop. Cooler weather moves in, but this will be the big key here, watching that humidity level really drop off, and it's going to be nice and comfortable as we head towards the weekend, and even the comfortable changes begin to sweep in for late tomorrow. So temperatures right now are closer to the mid-80s. We should be right around 90 degrees or so as we go into the afternoon. This is 3 o'clock, again hitting about 90. Even the lakeshore warming up pretty easily for today as that strong southwest flow means we don't have a lake breeze to contend with for today. Coming up for tomorrow, temperatures here will be a little cooler. We'll start off around 70, a muggy overnight, and you see temperatures tomorrow in the 80s, but then eventually beginning to fall back into the 70s here coming up. Satellite and radar composites showing a lot of calm weather for now across the area. See a few sprinkles trying to line up and move this direction. Doesn't look like the best ingredients for some of those thunderstorms for today will be just off towards the east of our area, also down to the south. We're talking about southern Illinois, southern Indiana. They'll have some strong, even severe thunderstorms there. For us, a little tamer compared to what we had yesterday, but still a few showers are possible. Here's the latest predicted by the hour, showing a couple sprinkles here over the next hour. No surprise, we've got a couple right now. We had one move right through Deschler and continuing on here towards southern Wood County. By 3, 4, 5 o'clock for this evening, a few more sprinkles. Again, a better chance for thunderstorms mainly to the east of our area from Sandusky over to Norwalk. And then everything fades away by around 6 to 7 o'clock for tonight. Now, overnight, the clouds will build back in. We do have another chance of rain tomorrow. It's a little better of an opportunity compared to today. You see a swath of some lighter rain trying to develop about midday tomorrow. Eventually, that sweeps out of the area as we head towards the evening hours for your Friday. Saturday looking delightful. As for rain totals around the area, the bulk of it showing up tomorrow. So not a whole lot today. Most of us will actually stay dry. Some of us will get a little rain, and then we could pick up to a ½ inch of rain tomorrow. So again, you still see some zeros on the board. Not all of us will see the rain in the next 48 hours. Today, 91, an isolated shower possible this afternoon. Outside of that, hot and humid. It'll be humid tomorrow to start things off. We'll have a low tonight of 70, 83 for the high tomorrow. A few showers late tomorrow as well. And then finally, some beautiful weather It arrives over the weekend. 74 for both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 70s for the rest of next week. The only other chance of rain would be early Sunday, going to about midday. A few showers are possible. Outside of that, just nice and cool. How about that low of 49 coming up on Tuesday morning? Almost a little chilly compared to what we've had in the last week or so.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Ross. Let's check in with Heather now. Contrada Law Time Saver Traffic.
Well, drivers in Sylvania Township were dealing with a little bit of an issue out there this morning. All of this because of an injury crash that happened on Sylvania between Holland, Sylvania and Whiteford. Here we did have the westbound lanes closed right in front of Camp Miaconda. In fact, let's take a look at what drivers had to deal with out there. Now, police on scene tell us that a couple of people were taken to the hospital from this. No serious injuries to report, though, thankfully. But again, this was a crash that happened around 11 o'clock this morning. The good news is I just checked in with Sylvania Township Police, and this has all been cleared out of here. So if you have to head through this stretch of West Sylvania, it should all be cleared for you. That's a Check Your Contrada Law Time Saver Traffic.
Black debris in the nozzles of a slushy machine. That was one of 20 violations inside Truckin' Bozo's Bar and Grill. The restaurant off I-280 in Millbury recently had double-digit health code violations during a standard health inspection. Hear what else the sanitarian found on the restaurant report card. That's today at 5. Right here on 13 ABC.
Also in Action News tonight, 13 ABC's Washington Bureau Chief Jacqueline Policastro has an exclusive interview with first daughter Ivanka Trump about her latest White House initiative.
I want to get more kids involved in team sports. Why is this so important to you?
Kids who participate in sports are more likely to earn higher wages, graduate from high school, stay out of trouble, not commit a crime or be a victim of a crime.
Tonight, Trump will explain why she thinks this program is especially important for young girls and also take us into the president's backyard, where kids across the country are getting a chance of a lifetime. They are working with celebrity athletes. You can watch that today at 5:30. We're taking a look at what's hot on the web this afternoon, and President Trump actually sent out a tweet today in the wake of the Roseanne cancellation, asking Disney chief exec that is, Robert Iger, quote, "Where is my call of apology? You and ABC have offended millions of people and they demand a response," end quote. Meanwhile, the actress who started the whole thing with the tweet has changed her tune. Now Roseanne Barr is saying that all the support she's received is making her want to look into her options and fight back. No word yet on what that means.
It has been dubbed an Instagram holiday. So you can guess how many selfies were posted with something in the background. It's called the Manhattan Henge. For 2 days every spring and summer, the sunset lines up with the grid, and for a brief shining moment, the sun's rays slice between the buildings, creating that glow. In case you'll be in the Big Apple this summer, Manhattan Henge should only happen again on the evenings of July 12th and 13th as we go back after the summer solstice.
Right, there you go. All right, earlier this week, we shared a photo from the Atlanta Braves game where a fan was holding an umbrella over a member of the JROTC on Memorial Day. Well, now take a look at this. A person driving along in Georgia spotted this in action. As an 8-year-old boy who was in the car in front of him, he saw that woman struggling to get up the stairs, so he hopped out, told his mom to wait, and as the perfect gentleman, he escorted the lady up the stairs. The witness recorded this random act of kindness, and it's gone viral. When someone finally identified the boy, the witness, the guy who recorded this, met up with him and gave him $100 as a reward.
There you go. So it's a good deed and a good reward.
Yeah.
How about that? Well, you've got to see what maybe the world's tiniest and cutest Cleveland Cavalier fans. The Cleveland Clinic handed out signature Cavs onesies. Born in Cleveland, whatever it takes. This is during the finals, which start tonight. The Cavs will take on the Golden State Warriors in Game 1. You can watch it right here on 13 ABC starting at 9 o'clock. And no jokes about Cavs fans being crybabies.
Oh, well, you should put them all in the stands right behind the, if like a Warriors fan's trying to, or a Warriors player trying to do a foul shot.
Oh, yeah.
Rah, rah, rah. See if you can make it now. I don't know,
That'd
just
be
an
a good
idea.
one. That would throw me off.
They're busy.
Yeah.
They don't have time for that.
All right, well, Walmart taking a big step for its employees.
See how the world's biggest retailer is now paving the way for a path into college.
But first, here's what's coming up in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
You've probably had this in a diner or maybe at home and you didn't know what else to make. Wondering what it is? Stick around. We'll show you. Every once in a while, we choose a recipe that seems so simple, you might think, who needs a recipe for that? Today's recipe might sound like one of those, but once you taste it, you'll understand why it's so special. First of all, when it comes to buying tuna, I don't believe that all tuna is equal. Maybe I'm a tuna snob or it's just the way I grew up, but for me, tuna should be white, solid, and packed in water. And then it needs to be drained really well. You can do that by pressing the lid into the can, or you can pick up one of these tuna presses, which makes this a breeze. After it's flaked, we add some mayo, and then to make this the ultimate tuna melt, some Italian dressing and sweet relish. After it's mixed, we place a few slices of tomato on some rye bread, top it with the tuna, and layer on some cheddar cheese. When this gets baked long enough for the cheese to melt and the bread to get all toasty, it's done. And since we leave this topless, it's best to eat this with a fork and knife. The recipe for what we call the ultimate tuna melt is on our website and would be perfect to serve with a bowl of soup and some chips. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a basic yet tasty way for you to say, "Ooh, it's so good."
For another look at that recipe and some other ideas from Mr. Food, just get connected to 13abc.com/MrFood.
Meantime, coffee lovers, the clock is ticking. Today is the final day for Coffee Quest 419. 1 local independent coffee houses teamed up for this promotion. During the month of May, you had to buy 12 coffees from at least 10 of the businesses. Once you fill out a punch card, you turn it in for a free t-shirt. An employee at Plate 21 says Coffee Quest 419 has helped bolster business.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot of new faces and hopefully made a lot of new recurring customers.
I just heard about it about a week ago, but I'm determined to finish it. And I like supporting the local businesses, so it's a good way to try places that I've never been.
Remember, Coffee Quest 419 ends today, so if you're trying to gulp down as much as possible, be prepared to be awake.
I was just going to say, lots of people bleary-eyed tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
All right, Walmart is adding a new perk for its employees. The Giant is offering its associates a way to earn their associates or bachelor's degrees for just $1 a day. And then Walmart will pick up the rest of the tab. Part-time and full-time employees can earn degrees from the University of Florida, Brandman University, which is, by the way, in California, and Bellevue University in Nebraska. The company is also offering GED training to workers and their immediate family members.
So it's associates for the associates, but no bachelors for the bachelors.
Oh, we don't know. That's very possible. We don't know their lives.
Yeah.
Ahead on Action News at 12:30, attorney Michael Danzak. He's answering your legal questions. Get that advice on Ask the Expert. Give him a call, 419-534-3863.
Live from Toledo, this is 13 ABC Action News.
We have an update to breaking news we have been following all morning long.
Let's get right to Heather Pawloff with this breaking news update in our Contrada Law Time Saver traffic report.
Well, all of this is because of a deadly crash that happened earlier this morning. In fact, around 1 o'clock in the northbound lanes of I-75 between Bluffton and Findlay. The good news is that we do have at least one lane back open now in the northbound lanes. And as you can see here with the map on Ogle, we've got good speeds actually being reported in this area. That was not the case earlier. In fact, this stretch was completely closed for about 10 to 11 hours here. And let's take a look at what ODOT has to worry about now. Now, this was a crash involving 4 semi tractor trailers out there, one of them catching fire after a chain reaction crash. In fact, one of the drivers did not survive that crash, according to the State Highway Patrol down there. So once they got all of those vehicles cleared out, ODOT now has to work on repairing the pavement from that fire. So this is what they're working on. This is why we have at least one lane closed here still on northbound I-75 in this area. So expect to see a little bit of a slowdown here, but again, so far this afternoon, we're not really dealing with any major backups. Of course, if that changes, we'll be sure to let you know. But again, one lane is back open on northbound I-75 after that deadly crash from this morning. You can find more information on this crash at 13abc.com. That's a Check Your Contrada Law Time Saver Traffic.
Crime and safety alert. Take a good look at the people in these photos. Toledo police say someone broke into a number of cars at the Planet Fitness on Lasky. A credit card was stolen and then used at Foot Locker and the Target on Monroe Street. The man and woman you see in these separate photos are being called people of interest. If you recognize either of them, contact Crime Stopper.
A man accused of threatening to shoot up a hospital in Michigan is now charged with terrorism. Police in Traverse City say Brian Adcox called the Munson Medical Center Saturday and then threatened hospital staff and blamed them for things like school shootings. The hospital went into lockdown. Officers were able to trace that call, and during Adcox's arrest, police did find a shotgun. The hospital says they're glad the threat didn't come to fruition.
I think this is a perfect example of an incident that had a really good ending. It's our close collaboration with law enforcement that makes that possible, and we're just so thankful that we have that type of collaboration and, to keep our community safe.
Hospital officials say for any threat, they immediately take heightened security measures and work with the police department. Adcox was recently arrested on a warrant in a different county and released on bond the same day before making these threats, allegedly.
New in our consumer alert this afternoon, Sears is closing at least 72 more Sears and Kmart stores in the near future. The company says it lost $424 million during its first quarter of this year. Since 2010, it has lost more than $10 billion. In the past year alone, Sears has closed nearly 400 stores, including the Toledo location in Westgate. Sears has not yet announced which locations will close, but if any of the local stores are on that list, we'll be sure to let you know.
All new at 12:30, there's a special bus in town that's looking to help you get your finances in order. It's the Fifth Third Bank's e-bus. For the last 2 days, the bus has been sitting in front of the Lucas County Metropolitan Housing Authority building on Indiana Avenue. It's essentially a mobile classroom, and it's designed to get people's credit in order and turn their financial lives around.
Teach people financial empowerment, financial literacy education. We provide resources for underemployed and unemployed individuals to help them find a job.
The e-bus is set to be in town next at the Toledo Zoo from 10 to 4 o'clock, and that'll be on June 4th.
There's a home building event taking place inside Fifth Third Field, and it is set to make lots of kids happy today. 13 ABC's Sean Hegarty is live to tell us all about it. Sean, you said Rudolph Libby was in the lead, but this is not a race. What is happening down there?
Yeah, I declared it a race, but it isn't actually a race. So everybody's a winner today, right? Well, this is Project Playhouse. The idea is to raise awareness of the 30th anniversary of the Maumee Valley Habitat for Humanity. And I want to start down here and show you that we have a lot of volunteer teams that are working very hard with different themes. So that's the Dana house that they're making, this playhouse. This is the Shrek theme that they're working on. Now, these playhouses are going to be given to families here in Lucas County, and those families talked about what designs and what concepts they wanted. I want to show you over here the Columbia Gas one. The idea here was colors. So the Columbia Gas folks are making a mosaic of different colors, working with volunteers, working with a lot of donated materials as well. And I want to show you one more here as we move over to the Andersons crew, who is working hard. Now, this home, the play home, will be going to the Bethany House. The Bethany House helps moms and kids to try to get back on their feet with some temporary resources to help them find their way. So that's where that project will be going, and the kids will be seeing these today. They only know about the concepts, but they'll be seeing the finished products today. So it should be really amazing to see the smiles on their faces when their concepts finally do come to life. So Tony and Sasha, Rudolph Libby might be in the lead per se. The 13 ABC team is not. Everybody wins today.
It's true. And our slogan is "This is home," so somebody's got to paint that somewhere.
Has to go somewhere on there.
All right, thanks very much, Sean.
Still to come, something revolutionary could help people with vision problems. We'll take a look at the state-of-the-art technology.
And the NBA Finals are tonight, where you can get your gear before you get your game on.
It is game day for the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs playing in Game 1 of the NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors.
The big question is, are you ready? 13 ABC's Mackenzie Keyline explains how fans can scoop up some Cavs gear.
Sasha, we are at Dick's Sporting Goods here at Franklin Park Mall, where they have gear for tonight's final Game 1 with Cavs and Warriors. I'm joined now by Jason Reynolds, the community marketing manager here for Dick's Sporting Goods. And most of the gear that you have here is for the Eastern Conference champions, but you do have some finals gear in already.
We do. It's an exciting time for us here in the store. There's a tremendous buzz in the local community. Obviously, the Cavaliers fans are excited for the series to get started tonight. So we have a full selection of the Eastern Conference conference championship gear that is already on display here. We want to make sure that our Cavaliers fans have their first opportunity to come to Dick's Sporting Goods and get their championship gear. Whether they come into the local store here or they go to Dicks.com, they can get a full selection of Cavaliers championship gear on display at Dick's.
Let's go ahead and show us some of the items that you have here for the Eastern Conference champions. This is when they beat the Celtics here. And right after that, you guys had this gear in stock ready to go.
We did, and it's important for us to get that championship gear out to our fans as quickly as possible. Again, we want to be a premier destination for that championship gear. We love to celebrate these achievements along with the team. So we have the locker room t-shirts on display. We have them in men's and women's sizes as well as youth sizes. Of course, we do have the NBA Finals caps on display as well. And if you're just a casual Cavaliers fan, you want to pick up a jersey, you want to pick up a Cavaliers cap so that we can celebrate together and be ready for the series to start. We have everything you need here at Dick's.
And Jason, real quick, last question. Obviously, all eyes will be on Game 1 tonight, but this is a series we've seen before between the Golden State Warriors and the Cavs. When can we expect to see the championship gear in stock after that final game?
It's a long series, more news to come, but as I said before, our priority is really to try to get the championship gear in as quickly as possible. So we're hoping that we're going to have something to celebrate here in a couple of weeks.
All right, Jason Reynolds with Dick's Sporting Goods, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, they have all the items you need to get ready for Game 1 of the finals tonight with the Cavs and Golden State Warriors. You can watch it here on 13 ABC starting tonight at 9. Tony and Sasha.
All right, thanks, Mackenzie. New this hour in your health, President Trump has signed into law the Right to Try Act. It is a bill aimed at helping terminally ill patients. The new law gives those terminally ill patients the right to seek drug treatments that remain in clinical trials. Mr. Trump said he thinks hundreds of thousands of lives could be saved as a result of this legislation. There you go, his signature signed right there by the president. Scientists have created the first 3D printed cornea. Scientists at Newcastle University in the UK say they're using a combination of their unique bio-ink and cornea stem cells. They can print the corneas in under 10 minutes. In their methods, and if their methods gain medical approval, the 3D printed corneas could be greatly beneficial to millions of people in need of corneal transplants and those who suffer from vision impairment due to corneal injuries. A new study published in the Annals of Behavioral Medicine suggests people who divorce have a greater likelihood of smoking and lower amounts of physical activity. Those who were divorced or separated had a 46% greater risk of dying during the study than their counterparts who were still married. Divorced or separated participants, especially women, were less satisfied with life than their married counterparts in this study.
Still to come this afternoon, there's some new research out when it comes to screening for colon cancer. We are talking with the chief medical correspondent from ABC News about why you might need to start getting these tests sooner.
Also, Michael Dansack will have the answers to your legal questions next on Ask the Expert.
And we're tracking just a couple little showers, let you know where they're at, and if any more will pop up as we head into the afternoon coming up.
Now, 13 ABC First Warning Weather with meteorologist Ross Ellett.
Most of the area right now is totally dry. It's warming up. It is very humid outside as well. Right now we're in the middle 80s in Toledo and Findlay. And right now we've got a couple of showers trying to approach the Fremont area. There isn't a whole lot with this right now. It's right to the south of Gibsonburg, heading towards Fremont at this point, so you may run into a quick, brief shower there. And more of those showers will likely build as we head east of I-75 as we go throughout the remainder of the afternoon hours and also early evening as well. We've had quite a bit of rainfall already, and on this final day of the month, we're not expecting a whole lot more, but we're already about 2 inches of rain above average here for the month, nearing 5.5 inches of rain for the year. We're about 3 inches above average as well. It's been a wet spring. That's where a lot of that moisture has come from April and into May. Right now, some haze, a lot of humidity out there, clouds trying to develop. We've got a southwest wind at 13 miles per hour. It feels like we're right around 90 degrees. Dew points at 71, still very high, more of a tropical-like feel out there. And predicted by the hour showing a few more of those stray little showers trying to pop up. Notice how small they are. And this is 5 o'clock for this evening. That's why we've got a 30% chance of rain today. Late afternoon, early evening, you're looking at only a brief shower for most. If you get caught under one of those showers, a better chance will stay totally dry. Overnight tonight, more clouds roll in, and there's another chance of rain tomorrow. This is midday into early afternoon. Could see a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of rain where the showers fall. We've got about a 40% chance of rain tomorrow. And finally, cooler and drier weather moves back in. It'll feel more like spring as we head into early June. And temperatures here are going to be hot, though, for today. 91 expected, hot and humid weather. Again, with that isolated shower possible later in the afternoon or early evening. Tonight, 70 degrees, partly to mostly cloudy. And for tomorrow, those clouds giving way to another round of some showers. And then we'll see a little more sunshine late. 83 for your high. Cooler and drier weather begins to move back in, especially late in the evening for us. North wind tomorrow at 5 to 10 miles per hour on the backside of that system. And again, we'll have some cooler weather returning. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. Going into the weekend, we'll be at 74 both Saturday and Sunday. On Sunday, a few showers are possible in the morning to early afternoon. Dry in the evening. Dry again Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with a lot of sunshine. Highs will be in the low to mid 70s. Lows down into the lower 50s, even the upper 40s there for one night going into Tuesday morning.
I'm not complaining. I'm enjoying that.
I think the grass is going to stay healthy too. It's not going to burn and it'll get enough water. We're good.
Yeah, I think so. Everything's growing like crazy right now.
Yeah, it is. All right. Thanks so much, Ross. We are answering your legal questions today on Ask the Expert. Attorney Mike Dancek back with us this afternoon. Mike, let's get right to question number 1.
Okay.
My son forged my name on checks from a closed credit union account. I'm now being told that I could be charged with passing bad checks. What should I do?
Well, in this instance, you're going to have to make some difficult choices. Certainly, your one choice would be to report the fact that your son has done that to local law enforcement. That would be one option. But you could also then make arrangements to reimburse or to make that payment or actually pay off that amount that may be due on that check. And certainly make sure, well, you have closed the account. But those are really your options, and they are really difficult ones that you'll have to choose from.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, next question here. This person says, I was fired from my job and given no reason. Can my employer do that? I feel it was because of my age, but he wouldn't discuss anything with me.
Well, as we all know, or we should know, Ohio is an at-will employment state. So generally, an employer can make those decisions to terminate an employee without cause. If you have a union contract or collective bargaining agreement that affects your employment, that would be a little bit different. There's a procedure to follow there. If it is age-related or any other basis for discrimination, there may be an avenue to pursue that, and I would encourage you to talk with an employment attorney to investigate those facts in that instance, if that is the case.
Okay, here's one. I received a speeding ticket last weekend. I didn't argue with the trooper at the time, but I do feel I wasn't speeding that fast, that it was a car passing me. Can I appeal the ticket?
Well, in this instance, again, you have options. You can either pay the ticket or you can enter a plea of not guilty and take that matter to trial. Oftentimes, though, you may also wish to discuss with or schedule a prosecutor's pretrial to discuss with the prosecutor any options that may be available to resolve that issue. So you do have options.
All right, and our last question this afternoon, I'm going on vacation out of the country. I've been advised that I should make sure my will and my power of attorney are up to date. That seems a bit extreme to me. What do you think?
I really don't think it's extreme. I think it's always good to know what your planning documents state. So if this is the kind of event that would trigger that review, I think it makes sense to do it before a longer term vacation. So go ahead and do that.
Good advice. Thank you so much, Mike. It was good to see you.
Sure. Thank you.
Tomorrow on Ask the Expert, the vet will be in giving you some pet advice. You can always email your questions in advance to news@13abc.com.
If you've never had a colonoscopy, you could be getting one sooner than you think. New recommendations are changing the age to start screening for colon cancer from 50 to 45. ABC's chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jennifer Ashton, joins us live for what this all means. Good afternoon to you, Doctor.
How are you guys?
We're doing all right, and I saw you on Good Morning America today talking about this. It seems like a pretty simple adjustment, but why is this such a big deal?
Okay, well, first of all, we have to remember anytime you hear a new screening recommendation about cancer, it's sure to be controversial. I expect this with these as well, because this is only coming from the American Cancer Society, which is a major cancer group, but it is not yet written in stone across the board. Why we're seeing this shift downward in earlier colorectal cancer screening is because we have been watching a very concerning trend over the last several years. There's been a 51% increase in the cases of colorectal cancer in people under the age of 50. So these are normally people who are not automatically screened. We don't know why it's happening, but there are a lot of theories out there. Some of them might be behavioral or diet or obesity related. But the good news here is for people hearing this and thinking, oh no, I have to have that dreaded colonoscopy. There are other tests that are less invasive, that don't necessarily involve anesthesia, that can be used as a first-round preliminary screen for colorectal cancer. However, if it's suspicious or anything is found, ultimately a colonoscopy will be needed. But we're talking about now starting for most people at the age of 45. Again, not written in stone yet, but it's sure to get a lot of attention.
Sure, and I'm one of those people right there at that age cutoff, and I started saying, oh no, now I got to go in for one. But you really want to be aware of it. What are some of those options that you were talking about where you don't have to use the anesthetic? What is the alternative?
Right. Well, one of them is a simple fecal blood test. The other one is a certain type of CAT scan or CT scan. There are other ways to look at the colon and the rectum for polyps or suspicious lesions. Colonoscopy is still the gold standard, however. And while we're talking about this disease, we do have to remember that there can be signs and symptoms that people should be aware of. So abdominal pain, unintentional weight loss, rectal bleeding, or any change in bowel habits, those can be warning signs of colorectal cancer. So don't just think, well, if I'm in my 20s, 30s, it can't be cancer, because unfortunately now we're seeing that it can be.
All right, Dr. Jen Ashton, thank you so much for joining us live with these new recommendations and what they mean to you. We really appreciate your insight.
Well, could taking a tech course improve your high schooler's chances of graduating? We've got that coming up in Mom's Everyday Minute. But first, a look at this afternoon's winning lottery numbers from your official lottery station, 13 ABC.
Every year, more than 1.2 million students drop out of high school in the United States, and roughly a quarter of freshmen will fail to graduate on time. Now, a new study shows the types of courses kids could take could keep them in school for the long haul. Here's your Mom's Everyday Minute.
Every 26 seconds, a student in the U.S. drops out of high school. But could changing the classes they take turn the statistic around? Using national data, researchers from the University of California, Santa Barbara found that high schoolers who took career and technical education courses were less likely to drop out of school and more likely to graduate on time. This study is the first to examine the timing of tech courses, and it found that the link was stronger if the students took tech courses later in high school during their junior and senior years. Tech classes allow students to combine real-world skills, career training, and academics. Courses might focus on finance, marketing, technology, engineering, business management, agriculture, and more. For Moms Every Day, I'm Tanya Atkinson.
Health inspections can turn up a number of violations at local restaurants. How about 20 violations? That's how many turned up at one local establishment. We'll tell you what the sanitarians uncovered in this week's restaurant report card. That's today at 5 o'clock.
I kind of snuck in here.
Yeah, all right.
All right, well, as far as the traffic goes, we still have a number of construction projects out there. I mean, you can expect it to last through the summer, but I tell you about one of them that still has a closure today at 5:30.
If you don't dress up like an orange cone for Halloween.
I'll think about it.
All right.
And we are tracking just a couple of those little tiny showers trying to pop up right now. So Jay will have the latest coming up this evening and a nicer weekend on the way. Some more details on that.
All right. Hey, thanks for joining us and thanks for watching 13 ABC Action News at noon. We're going to be back with breaking news updates today at 5 o'clock and all day long on 13abc.com, Facebook, and Twitter. The Chew is next. Have a great day.